Good time zone Gen Friends, and welcome to CrossGen Friends, your gaming, pop culture, and tech podcast with a multi generation point of view. I'm Byron Miller, and with me, as always, is Joe LaRussa. How are you doing today, Joe?
I am cold, Byron. It is single
I'm
digit
cold.
degrees. It is single digit degrees here, and the feel is somewhere almost in the double digit negatives. So I'm
Hmm.
cold, but otherwise I'm doing fine. How are you this week, sir?
I am cold as well, not as cold, but colder
Yeah.
than I would like. It was 20 overnight, and because anybody who runs has to tell you they run, I was out running earlier and it was 28 then, and it was still cold. I don't love it.
I did see out my window a person running in this weather too, and then I took a picture of that person and sent it to a friend of the show, Koala, and I said I'm pretty sure that this qualifies as someone who's allowed to be checked into an insane asylum involuntarily. So, yeah,
I have
that was
run
my
as low as
stance.
15. I didn't love it. I can honestly
Was
run
that 2 weeks
20.
ago?
It was not. It was like 2 years ago. Um, I can run as low as 25 and still be mostly happy, but the shower feels really good whenever you get back.
Mm, yeah, I can imagine. Well, I have a question for you this week, Byron. What is your happy place?
My happy place is the Olympics. It started on Friday in Italy, and it's the Winter Olympics. I love the Olympics. I don't typically watch a lot of the sports that are involved in the Olympics, but it's cool whenever it shows up every 4 years. Um, I love so many things about the Winter Olympics. I like. I don't care about hockey. I never have cared about hockey. I'll watch probably the finals that involves the U.S. women's team in Canada, most likely. And if the U.S. men's team makes it, then I'll probably watch that. But otherwise, I couldn't care less about hockey. But I enjoy watching neat things like curling. I love watching figure skating. Speed skating is really cool. Just so much of it is neat to me. I like the biathlon. I think they've said the biathlon is one of the hardest events there is, period, in any Olympics because there's just so much cardio involved with the skiing and then having to shoot and stop your heartbeat or slow your heartbeat enough to like hit
What
the
a crazy
targets.
combination of things to have as an event. Man, what a weird combination biathlon is. Shooting and skiing. Like, who even comes up with that sort of thing?
Well, the Nordic people did because back in the day, not today, obviously, but back in the day, you'd have to throw your skis on and ski out in the wilds and take your rifle of whatever and shoot something, throw it over your shoulder or drag it behind you and ski back home. I guess for them, it makes sense. For you and me who grew up in the 20th and 21st century,
What do we
it's
think
old
came
world.
first, skis or guns?
100% skis.
You say that, but lighters came before matches. So
Well, yeah, but like skis don't have moving parts necessarily. They're just pieces of whatever strapped to your feet.
I meant
Guns are
like proper
machines.
modern style skis, like the ski that you and I think of, not just like a thing on your feet.
Oh, well, probably guns then. That was
Yeah.
probably the 1700s, 1600s, like modern day rifles.
The, there's depending on where you
Not
are in the world,
not
and
muzzle
yeah.
loading rifles. I mean, like cartridge based rifles had to be like the 1700s, right?
Cartridge rifles are more like the 1800s because there's no cartridge rifles in the Civil War. Or there's cartridge rifles in the Civil War, but not
Yeah.
during the American Revolution.
Yes, I mean modern day skis with binders and whatever else. I mean, those are probably 20th century innovations.
Hmm. In any event, that's cool. Winter Olympics, right?
I love the Olympics. How about you? Where's your happy place this week?
I want to say I don't really watch the Olympics. I appreciate the Olympics when I do catch pieces of them, and I like that they're in. I like their infrequency. It makes them feel special. I like that they're like every 4 years. That's kind of cool. My happy place this week is actually a local diner called the East Ridge Diner and Steakhouse. Uh, Jing and I really like this restaurant. I'm gonna say it's farther away than our normal restaurants are. It's really not terribly far. We just don't go very far from home. But it is on the farther end of things. And we actually went there for dinner during the week because we were already out. And so we had time and decided to go there for dinner. And it's really, I'm a huge fan of diners. I went to a diner today and had a burger before we did this recording. I love diners, and it makes me really sad that so many diners around here close after lunchtime, like they're not open for dinner. Because a good diner at dinner is so good. So I was really happy to just go there.
So
And very nice turkey dinner.
okay, that's what I was going to ask. What did you have? Because I care about that more than I care about anything else.
I had the turkey dinner that they have there because it's a really good turkey dinner. I'm not a big stuffing guy, so I swapped out the stuffing for some like rice pilaf that they have, and it was fantastic. And Jing had a chicken souvlaki. She said to me like 2 days before we went, she was like, "I want chicken souvlaki." I was like, "Okay." There's really not a lot of great chicken souvlaki places up here, even though we live near a town called Greece, New York. They don't have a lot of good Greek restaurants up here. So this diner happens to be probably the best one in the area, and we went there. And
What
it
I
was
love about diners is you can get breakfast all day long.
mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, that's a cool part as well if you're a big breakfast person. I like breakfast foods, but I need too many different types of drinks because like I won't eat eggs with milk and I won't eat pancakes with orange juice, and so it becomes very expensive to eat there. So I don't usually get breakfast at diners. I'll just get my burger.
You are a
Uh,
fascinating puzzle.
Thank you. Yeah, so that was it. That's my happy place. I really enjoy going there. It's a nice restaurant, and we've only gone there maybe like a half dozen times since we moved here, but it's always a treat when we get to go over that way. And I'm gonna throw in an unhappy place this time. My turn this week, because you took one the last couple times. But I'm a little annoyed with Starbucks because they changed their hours. And on Friday, I wanted to go and get my weekend chai tea. I like to get a chai tea on the weekends, on Fridays and Saturday nights. And I sit and I sip it throughout the evening. And maybe I have some goldfish with it or some pretzels, or I just sit and I drink it. And I go usually a little after 8, and their closing hours were 9. And then out of the blue, apparently a week ago, they changed their closing to 8. So when I got there in the freezing, literally like sub-freezing temperatures, they were already closed at like 8:15, and that was really annoying, and I didn't know. So I figured it was just for a winter, but we've been in winter for a month and a half, and they had left their hours late. So I asked the staff, and they were like, "Yeah, it was temporary that we were open till 9. We'll probably go back till 9 in the summer." And whatever. So annoying, unhappy place, but I still enjoy Starbucks chai tea lattes, which is repetitive. So chai lattes.
I was going to say, isn't chai and tea the same thing?
Chai is a type of tea. Yeah.
I like Starbucks, but I don't go to Starbucks mainly because I get coffee when I'm there, and I don't get like fancy coffee with blah blah squirts and pumps and half whatever. I just want coffee, and I think that if you just want them to pull the little thing and pour it in a cup for you, then you should be able to skip the entire line and go first, because I should have to wait 20 minutes on somebody else's order for like the 30 seconds it takes them to pour it in a cup.
See, that's why my hours of going to Starbucks, I very rarely have to wait in a line because I go at weird hours. Like I went today actually on the way back from the diner as well, just because I didn't get it on Friday. I like having it on the weekend. So I wanted it twice. And I don't usually deal with a line. It's usually fairly quick. I mean, my order is straightforward: chai latte, extra hot, and oat milk, no water, cinnamon steamed in, no foam. I don't change the pumps or anything else. I just swap the milk and have no water. Really, is the main thing. Um, and the foam was actually a new development for me because I did not care to have a drink that when the foam settled was like, if the drink is 20 ounces, it was like 12 ounces of drink. It was like 8 ounces lost to foam. It was crazy how much foam was in the cup that I had. So I started doing no foam, and it's been good. It's been good that way. Something, and I will say the Starbucks people, they're very nice. A couple of them are gamers. I chat with them about games and stuff. One of the really nice things that they'll do is they don't always know the right judgment for how your personal cup is in terms of how much to fill it. So if you look at it and you know how much is in there, they'll just steam more milk for you. I'll just be like, could you steam just a bit more and fill it up the rest of the way? Because they'll end up with so much extra space that there ends up being, again, a cutout of like 3, 4, 5 ounces of drink that I otherwise lost. So yeah, it works out well that they're friendly like that. And we get along. We get along. Chat games. One of the employees there was playing Borderlands 4 when it came out, and that was all that was being played. Just Borderlands every time I went in for like a month.
So more importantly, have you told them about the podcast?
I have mentioned the podcast to them before. Yes, they've not asked for any links or anything like that, but I've mentioned that I do a podcast. I'll mention it again and say, hey, you should check out our podcast. I'll give you a shout out on here.
If you want to play ball pit, one of the guys that I do it with, he's trying to give it away if anybody will comment about it.
This is true. We didn't get any comments like that, did we, people?
We did not. And I even tried to get people to make comments,
I know.
and
I saw.
people were actual like listeners of the podcast, and they said, "Oh, I need to listen to this week so I can find out what you're talking about." And I don't know if that's happened or not.
Oh goodness.
Are you ready to move
Well,
on to the news?
I am.
All right, take it away.
Yes, we begin this week with coverage of Nintendo's Partner Direct. Rumored last week and now a reality, Nintendo held a Partner Direct on February 5th. Here is every game we're interested in or have something to say about in order: The Adventures of Elliot, The Millennium Tales, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Pragmata, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, Endless Ragnarok, Cold Sept, Begins, Tales of Arise Beyond the Dawn Edition, and The Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion Remastered. So I'll start, I guess, because most of these are things that I have things to say about. But with The Adventures of Elliot, did you watch any of these trailers, Byron? Did you see any of the stuff at all?
I have not.
Okay. Are you familiar with The Adventures of Elliot?
I am not. I assume that it reminds me of Boy and His Blob, which was, I believe, an old David Crane game on the NES where you had a space blob who followed you around. You fed him jelly beans to make him turn into different objects, but I doubt that it's that.
It's not that, no. So this is a Square Enix RPG. It's a JRPG, and it is set in the world of Philadelphia. Is the name of it, for real. I'm not joking. But it's one of their 2D HD 2D games. The basically the high quality 2D looking game, like the way that Octopath is, and whatnot. And I wanted to talk about it because it sounds so interesting. Like, it really sounds like it would be an interesting game. And then I see the art style, and I'm just like, oh, I'm not going to play that. Like, that's how off-putting that sort of thing is to me. It's very frustrating that they come up with these great ideas and they put them behind these art styles that are just not appealing.
Now I'm curious if there's an RPG with a crappy art style that you're not going to play. I want to see what it is.
Yeah, you should take a look. Let's see what you come up with here. Byron is searching and searching and searching.
I'm clicking now. Okay, so for those who don't know, it looks. I mean, it looks like Octopath. It's a pixel-based game.
That's what I said.
Yeah, I think that it looks fantastic. I like pixel games, and Joe's just a hater.
I am a hater.
I'll wait to see. Being that it's a new game, it's more likely to interest me.
Yeah. So I mean, you may play it, and I definitely won't play it. So that means we have to talk about it. It comes out pretty soon. I think. Does you have the date there? Did you pull up the date when you searched for it?
No, I just looked for images.
I think it
June 18th.
Yeah, it's in the. Yeah, I was gonna say it's in this next 6 months or so. So
And
look forward to Byron potentially playing that.
potentially, but not exclusive to the Switch. Also, PS5,
No.
Xbox Series X, and Windows.
Yep. Yeah, it's on everything. It is a Square game. So Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, again, also a Square game. So this is coming to Switch. This is kind of relevant to a news story that we're not going to talk about because it was recent, but not really noteworthy for the overall news as its own thing. But did you see that the Square Store Switch 2 version of this already sold out? Did you see that?
No, as in they ran out of bits,
Uh,
or they put an artificial cap on the number that they could sell.
No, like their physical version of it. So like the
Oh.
Square Enix store sold out of the Switch 2 version of it already. That's what it is.
Oh,
That's how many people are interested in this one, which I think is pretty cool.
good for them. I'm
Yeah.
glad that they'll get a chance to play it.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and someday you'll know that because you'll eventually finish it.
No, it's a good game. I cannot finish it and think it's a good game.
No, I know. I'm saying someday you'll get to finish it is my point, and really know how good it is all the way through. Yeah, I loved Rebirth. It was, I think, my number one that year. Yeah, that was my game of the year easily. Even over Dragon Age: The Veilguard and Dragon's Dogma 2, which were games that I was very much looking forward to. But VII Remake is one of my top 10 games of all time. I adore Remake a lot, and Rebirth is more of that, but with some adjustments that don't fly as well with me as I think that they do with some other people. You played Remake all the way through, right?
Correct.
Did you like Remake as much as Rebirth, or Rebirth as
Um,
much as Remake?
I like Rebirth more than Remake, with the caveat that I don't like the mini game itis that Rebirth has. Like, there's just too many mini games in it.
There
Um,
are. That's true.
I never liked the Midgar section of Final Fantasy. I thought it was confining and dreary and drab, and I liked Final Fantasy VII a whole lot more when you got out to the overworld and were able to do things.
Yeah, that seems to be the consensus as well. And I think that's why so many people were really impressed with the way that they were able to overhaul the Midgar section to be something, actually
It was better.
captivating.
It was
Right.
better, but it wasn't
Well,
better.
I mean, I loved it. Again, it's literally in my top 10 of all time because I loved it that much. I thought it was enrapturing.
What's
Is a good
next?
word. Yeah, next up is Pragmata. This is Capcom's next game. This is originally shown off at the PlayStation 5 reveal event, and then suffered numerous delays and development problems. And everything I've heard about this game from the people who've played it at Summer Game Fest and from the demo, I've not played the demo yet. You should check the demo out because you are interested in demos and things, so you may enjoy that. But it's supposed to be pretty good, surprisingly good. I'm also on deck to review this game, which is part of the reason it's on this list, is because I am looking forward to getting to review it for the Seasoned Gaming website. That is the plan at the moment. The trade off was Alex got to review Dragon Quest if I got to review Pragmata, so that was the swap we made there.
So while we're going through this list, how many of these games are Nintendo console specific games, and how many of them are just available on everything?
Out of the list that I have here, I don't know if any of them are, unless your edition is Nintendo specific. Is Cold Sept Nintendo
Oh,
specific?
I was just looking it up. I was just curious because honestly, like, I'm less interested in, hey, this is coming out on this because it's already come out on that. It looks like, yeah, Cold Step will be Nintendo specific.
Yeah, I mean, none of the games that I had on this list are unique to Nintendo. They're either new releases that are coming to everything or re-releases coming to Nintendo Switch 2 now.
So many re-releases. Anyway,
Yeah,
continue.
well, it's a new console that has to get games on it, you know. But Pragmata is a brand new game, so I'm looking forward to Pragmata. I've thought it looked interesting for a while. I was actually high on it and then down on it, and now I'm back up on it. It seems like it'll be something exciting, so I'm very curious to get through it. Uh, anything else on Pragmata for you? Any thoughts on it? You can check the
No,
demo out.
maybe depending on what I'm doing.
It's supposed to be a really short demo. It's supposed to be like a half an hour. So next up is Grand Blue Fantasy Relink Endless Ragnarok. So this is an extra set of content for Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. Did you play Grand Blue Fantasy Relink?
Nope, never have.
It's a 2024 game. It actually came out just before Rebirth. I remember because I played it just before Rebirth came out. I really liked the game. It was not great. It was really good. It would fall in that 7 or 7.5 range for me because eventually it got kind of repetitive. It was a fun story, but there's so much. There's apparently a ton of like background lore to this universe, and jumping into Relink is like jumping somehow in the middle and the end and the beginning of the story. It's so weird. But I really liked it, and I was excited to see this announced because I was like, oh, they're doing like DLC, new story content. No, it's just like more bosses and more co-op dungeon stuff to fight because there's like this story that's good all the way through, but the bulk of the game is supposed to be kind of Monster Hunter-y, where you just get your little groups together and then you just go attack the things and you fight them and you collect your. The difference is you collect characters that have abilities rather than building your one character up and shaping their weapons. It was fun, but this was really disappointing to see that this was not a full like an expansion of new content. It was just or new story content. It was just more characters and more fighting. But oh well. Next up, I'll throw it to you for Cold Sept Begins.
I'm going to assume that you never played Cold Step Saga.
Never even heard of it at all.
Concept Saga was an Xbox 360 game that was an amazing, fantastic board game with card building for the or card, yeah, card building, card collecting as the combat system on the boards. It
Hmm.
was a very creative, very fun game. I don't remember the storyline. I probably could care less about the storyline, but the game itself was so much fun. So think kind of like Magic the Gathering, but on a playing board, like a game board, and not just two decks playing each other. So
Hmm.
I will definitely take a look at Concept as it comes around. Concept begins, and if it looks good and gets good reviews, then I will be on board with that. And it's the perfect kind of game for a Switch console, like something that you can pick up and play a couple rounds and put back down.
And it is Switch exclusive, you said, so that makes sense then.
Yep. Which is odd because it was Xbox before and is Switch now. Um, yeah, and it's a major, Clear River Maxsoft. So never mind. I was going to say, oh, it comes out on Steam as well. It says Nintendo Switch 2, and Steam.
I'm looking at their wiki page. They haven't released a concept game in a decade.
I thought it was longer than that, but yeah,
Yeah, the last one was for Nintendo 3DS. And then before that was 20 years ago. It was Concept Saga on 360, which is what you're thinking of, I guess.
yep, good game.
Cool. Yeah, that does not do it for me, but I'm hoping that you enjoy it. It definitely looks like something that you'd be interested in. It has that quirky indie vibe that you crave in your gameplay, my friend.
It's called Creativity.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. Next up, Tales of Arise Beyond the Dawn edition. Uh, this is just a quick note on my end because I had never played a Tales game before. Did you ever play any of the Tales games? Tales of Arise, Berseria, Symphonia?
I may have touched Symbosia at some point in time, but not really.
Yeah. So I'd never played one. I played Tales of Arise when it came out, or a little after it came out, maybe. I forget. But I played it around that time. I absolutely loved Tales of Arise a whole lot. I thought this was a truly, truly phenomenal game. And then randomly, they announced an expansion for it like 2 years later, which was super weird. I was like, 2 years later, you're gonna do the DLC? Um, but it was 2 years. It came out in September of 2021, and the DLC came out in November of 2023. Uh, so yeah, I went and I was like really excited for it because I thought that the Tales base game was so good. So I was really excited to play the DLC. The DLC was really just as good as the base game was, and I got the platinum and I have 100% on all the achievements and stuff because I really adored that game. And it also holds a particularly special place in my heart because it was really the first game that I played in my condo after I bought it and moved in. Whoa, you okay?
Yeah, it's an old chair I need to get rid of.
You
We're
keep
good.
saying that and yet you never get
Yeah,
rid
no,
of it.
I like this chair. Like I said, I've got a replacement chair for it in another room. I like this chair. So
Well, the next time that happens, you may not catch yourself. I don't want you to,
the back
you
is
know.
still there. It loses its place and it falls back. It's still
Yeah, the
good.
back is still there, but are you still there? Is the
Still
is
here.
the question.
I'm
Oh
not going to fall. I'll
goodness.
be good.
Oh goodness. Anyway, yeah. So Tales of Arise, that was the game I was playing when I moved into when I bought my condo and moved into it and everything. I have fond memories of sitting on the floor with my ginormous TV with no other furniture, playing this game, and it was great. So I really like Tales. You should check Tales of Arise out. It's an action RPG. It's not quite. It's not turn based at all. It's definitely action, but you don't have to control the main character. You control any of the characters you want, and they each have different abilities and arts and whatnot. It's cool. It's a cool game, worth looking into, and it goes on sale for really cheap on PC and everything too. So maybe worth looking at for you. And then the last game to mention is The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered. Just calling this one out because Oblivion is also one of my top 10 games of all time. I adore Oblivion. And when Oblivion Remastered came out, and then when I was playing Oblivion Remastered, this show didn't exist yet. So I can talk about it here because I went and I platinumed Oblivion Remastered. I put like another 100 and something hours, I think, into that game. over the month of September, basically, which I adored. I loved it just as much as I did before. It's truly, truly an excellent, excellent game. Uh, what's your experience with Oblivion, Byron?
I played it 20 years ago, and then I picked up Remastered, and there were other things that I'd rather play instead of playing a game that I'd already played again. So yeah, um, I'm I'm honestly not super excited about it going to the Switch. I'm happy for the people who haven't gotten a chance to play it before that they'll get a chance to play it here, but
Yeah.
I don't get worked up about ports unless it's been a console exclusive for so long and then you get it on a different console.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they had
Yeah.
taken Final Fantasy VII back in the day, whenever it was a Sony exclusive, and then 2 years later made it on the Xbox, like cool, that would have been exciting. But it just
Mm.
seems like they're throwing stuff out for the Switch, which like you said, they need a library. It's not exciting.
Yeah, I agree. There's nothing particularly exciting about this story. I just really love Oblivion and wanted an
Well, I
opportunity to
mean,
talk about it.
I don't disagree with nothing exciting. I think that talking about the Elliott game, talking about maybe Pragmata and Cold Step, things that are new titles out there are pretty interesting. And I think honestly, in like these developer showcases, not director showcases, I would rather them limit them to, hey, here's the new stuff we have coming out, or here's console exclusives are going to be minimal these days unless they're first party games. So it's tough to limit it just to things that are coming out on your console. The rest of the stuff is kind of like an afterthought to me.
Yeah, I can understand how for us that would seem to be the case because we have other things that we play on. But for Switch players, like these are big deals that they don't, because there are plenty of people who only have Switches or only have Switch 2s. So having that be like, oh, I really wanted to play that Oblivion game, but I can't because it's not on Switch. Well, now it's on Switch. I think that's important for the individuals who don't have it. And that to me that would be like it's not exciting to us, but to them it would be exciting. And also, I just love Oblivion.
So
So
here's my counter, and you can love Oblivion. That's perfectly fine. I don't. If I had to say the people who are the target audience of games like Oblivion or Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, they probably have another console. They're not the Switch player who wouldn't have another way of playing it.
I agree that that is most likely the case. I do agree that that is most likely the case. But for the ones that aren't, that's who it's for, I guess. That
Enjoy.
small audience. Yeah, exactly. Enjoy Oblivion Remastered. It's great. It's still janky and buggy and weird and has some of the problems that it had before, and they fixed a bunch of those problems too. But it's gorgeous. Like they did such a great job making it look nicer, I think. So yeah, and that will do for the Nintendo Partner Direct for this show. Our Nintendo Direct rumor was true, but our Sony State of Play rumor hasn't come true yet, so we'll see if that happens later on, and we'll have that to talk about soon. But that'll do it for that story, and over to Byron for our next bit of news.
Oh, this one's way more fun. As if there weren't enough reasons to hate Jeffrey Epstein, recent DOJ files, still a lot to go. Emails link Epstein to early discussions about microtransactions in Call of Duty. Fandom Wire discusses the connection in a recent article. And I'm quoting here, 1 May 2013 email exchange between Epstein, Kotick, and futurist Pablo Holman directly discussed the idea of using virtual items in games as tools for behavioral conditioning. The language used was anything but subtle. Additional emails also revealed Jeffrey Epstein's advisors were talking to former Activision CEO Bobby Kotick about microtransactions in Call of Duty back in 2013. The timing also aligns perfectly with Call of Duty's transition away from traditional DLC and towards the aggressive microtransaction system that now define the franchise. Like I said, it's a reason to hate Epstein more. I don't love microtransactions. It's about the time that I was less interested in Call of Duty. And I'm honestly just shocked to see Bobby Kotick linked to Jeffrey Epstein.
I mean, people can say what they want about all of this, but the sketchy pedo stuff about Epstein is how do I phrase it?
Sketchy's not the right word.
I said pedo stuff.
But it's not sketchy. It's evil.
Yeah, well, I was going to go through all of it, but the point is that that was just one part of his involvement, and so there are obviously going to be business conversations as a part of his emails because the other sketchy side of wanting to make as much money as possible as a financier and ruin video game franchises is equally a part of who a rich person like that is, right? Like that's just it all goes together in one bundle of evil and terribleness.
Doesn't shock me anyway.
No. Oh well.
Yeah, nothing else to say about
Call of
Jeffrey
Duty.
Epstein for this podcast.
Oh well. Call of Duty.
Yep.
R.I.P.
Rip. All right,
Oh
next, back to
goodness.
you.
Yeah. Next up, this one's a little less skeevy.
Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah. Exactly. Epic Games Store is in discussions with Microsoft to be on the next Xbox as a storefront on day one, according to an interview EGS head Steve Allison did with GameFile. During the interview, Mr. Allison was discussing the integration of the storefront into handhelds like the ROG Ally and the lack of a native app. The conversation segued from there to Xbox, where Mr. Allison said, quote, "We definitely plan to be on the new hardware for Xbox because unless their policy or stance on it changes, they are telling us they're going to welcome that." For more info on this, you can check the write-up, the interview on GameFile, which is Stephen Totillo's website, or the Video Games Chronicle write-up that I got this story from here. So, Byron, what do you think about this?
I want to hear more about it. I don't know that I like it or dislike it or really care one way or the other, but it's interesting to me because Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo have always been completely locked down as to where you can get your games.
Mm-hmm,
Um,
mm-hmm.
Even whenever you buy digital games from somewhere, you're typically buying a code that you would enter and download it from Sony, Microsoft, or Nintendo.
Or Steam.
Or Steam, yeah. Same way. And with this, I mean, I know the entire Apple Epic issue, and the question I have is this just going to be a way to purchase more V-Bucks? Or is this going to be a way to buy Epic games directly from Epic and download them onto your Xbox? And if so, in my mind, they've got to provide some assurances to Microsoft that they're not going to put out trash. It's going to meet the level that Microsoft requires for people to publish games, period. And they'll have to maintain the location of storage and make sure that files aren't compromised and whatever else. But part of me just kind of feels it's going to be a way to buy V-Bucks more directly.
So let me give you a little background that you may be missing on some of this then, based on what you said there. There have been rumors and speculation percolating for about a year now that Microsoft's next console is going to allow for any computer storefront to be available on it, including Steam, that you're going to be able to purchase games from any storefront, not just the V-Bucks or anything, but literally buy the games on other stores. That if you buy a Microsoft Xbox 2027 device, you will be able to play your Steam games on that Xbox. You will have access to your computer library on the console. That is the rumor as it stands right now. And this would go along with it. Huh?
It'd be a way to move Xboxes.
It would be a way to move Xboxes, but it would also be a way to kill your software business, I think. Because if you have those available storefronts, no one's going to buy it on Xbox. You're not going to buy the Xbox version. You're going to buy the Steam version.
Yeah, I mean, the traditional method of business for console manufacturers have been to break even, take a small profit, or take a loss on the hardware, and then make it up on licensing and software sales.
Yep, that's right.
So, I mean, maybe Microsoft's thinking they're going to maybe they don't care as much about buying non-Microsoft games in the Microsoft store because they're going to get the same cut they would by being able to use it on Steam. I mean, they're going to get 20% or whatever they're going to get from Steam or for Valve or Epic or whatever they.
Well, so think about it this way: Microsoft makes Avowed 2, and someone wants to buy Avowed 2. And I say Avowed 2 because the story, the interview from Obsidian. Did you see this part, by the way? Did you see the interview that Obsidian did? Obsidian did an interview with Bloomberg that basically said that they're not making an Outer Worlds 3 because it didn't meet expectations.
Oh, no, I did see that, yes.
Yeah, but they were going to be making more Pillars of Eternity Avowed stuff, even though that one didn't meet expectations either. Anyway, so I'm saying, so Avowed 2 is my example. So if they make Avowed 2 and they put it on Steam and they put it on Xbox, and I buy this Xbox 2027 and I want to buy Avowed. If I buy Avowed on the Xbox store on the Xbox, then Microsoft gets 100% of that revenue. If I buy it on the Steam store, even though I'm playing it on the Xbox, Microsoft's only going to get 70% of that revenue.
Yeah, and maybe there'll be exceptions where they don't allow you to buy Microsoft games from other
Maybe.
sources.
Yeah,
I,
that could be.
I don't know. I mean, they may be looking at they're either getting 0 or 20%, and they're going to aim for 20%. It seems like Microsoft's trying to figure out the business that they used to do really well in.
Yeah. So it's just weird to me because I don't see a world in which a person who buys an Xbox to have Steam available under your living room TV is ever going to buy anything related to Xbox on the Xbox store. Like that just I just don't see that happening. Yes, are they selling Xboxes? Yeah. And does that maybe make it easier for people to subscribe to Game Pass? I mean, kind of, but at that point you're subscribing to the expensive Game Pass and not even the PC Game Pass that you have, right? So I don't see the win here. I don't see a win to allow other storefronts on your console. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up for Xbox unless their goal is literally just sell the console. And maybe they're going to put the console at such a price that they make a huge profit on it and they don't care about selling the software. Like maybe that's their play.
So, two things. Number one, the other option is there's something that we're not aware of or don't understand yet.
Sure.
And the second is I I don't think there's going to be a 2027 console for something that we'll get into in just a second. And if there is, they're not going to be making a ton of profit on it because they're going to be pricing themselves out of existence.
Yeah, I mean the latest news from Xbox and everything Xbox has said and the rumors around Xbox is that they are still releasing their console in 27 while Sony is most likely not going to be releasing in 27. That is the
Yeah,
rumor as it stands.
I don't buy it, but I'll talk about it more in just a second if you're ready to move on.
Yeah, we can move on from there. I don't see the purpose. I think this is just a doom for Xbox. It's cool for the players and for the gamers, of course. It's always better to have your storefronts easily accessible on other devices, but I don't see how it benefits the company in the long run. It doesn't click with me right now. But we'll see. Obviously, they're the ones in charge and they're doing just a bang up job making Xbox the world-renowned brand that it's always been, right? Right, Byron?
This is a whole different discussion, but Microsoft's biggest problem is they haven't stuck with a plan. They bounced around different ideas and they never stuck with any one thing. And I think that's what's killed their product. But anyway, that's a different
I
story.
agree. All right, let's go on to the next one. This one's back to you, sir.
Yeah, so per Valve, the date for pricing and release of the Steam machine has not been set. They're still aiming for first half of 2026, but the global memory constraint has led to uncertainty. To quote them, their announcement earlier this week, when we announced these products in November, we planned on being able to share specific pricing and launch dates by now, but the memory and storage shortages you've likely heard about across the industry have rapidly increased since then. The limited availability and growing prices of these critical components means we must revisit our exact shipping schedule and pricing, especially around the Steam machine and Steam frame. Um, this is not unexpected. There's if you've listened to things that I've had to say or paid attention to the hardware markets at all, things are real bad now. For first it was memory, and then it was flash storage, and now it's getting to be graphics cards are getting harder to find and more expensive, and nobody is insulated from this as demand goes up because supply is lagging or artificially kept where it is right now to keep prices up. Only the people who have locked in contracts are going to be able to keep prices the same. Anybody else, they're going to have to pay the new rate, which is more than the old rate, even if you get big time discounts because you're a gigantic corporation. And unless Microsoft or Valve or whomever is building a console had locked in their prices a long time ago, it's going to cost them more. And that's what I'm saying with Microsoft. I don't know that 2027, unless something changes, is going to be a positive landscape for them to release an Xbox. I mean, is anybody going to pay $1,000 for an Xbox? It's going to be very few people.
The Xbox Series X 2 TB is literally $1,000 right now. It's already
but
$1,000.
but that's not the baseline. There is
It's
a
1 TB higher. Like,
but like you've been able to get in. Like I got my Xbox
yeah,
Series S for like $250,
yeah, the
and
Series S, yeah.
you're also not talking about something that sold a ton of consoles as it is. But if you consider that to be like maybe the base,
Sorry, it's $800, not $1,000. $800. The ROG Ally X was $1,000. The handheld.
but again, if you're considering that to be the base, and the Steam machine starts at $1,000 or whatever, like that's a high barrier for entry, and
Yeah.
yeah, it
Well,
sucks.
here's the thing about a major enterprise like shipping a console. It's not guaranteed, but there is a chance that if they had been planning to release this in 2027, that in 2025 they had the contracts in place for purchases for bulk amounts of products, because presumably the hardware has been finalized for a year or two at this point. Like, they've known the specs of what their console is going to be. They're probably not tinkering any longer with the actual numbers. They're maybe fine tuning things, but the actual hardware components that they would need to put it together, I believe, would have been finalized around the beginning of last year to have a release 2 years later. And so they would need, if they know what they need, then they are able to make the purchase and put the contract in place. So if they've had, I mean, this spike has only been going on for the last like 3 months or 4 months. Like, if they had the contract for at any point in almost all of 2025, they probably would have been covered. So maybe they have it ready. I mean, Sony in their financial call recently said that they've already figured this issue out for 2026. Like, they've got it sorted out on the PS5 side. It's not a problem right now. They're not worried about it. So maybe they did. Maybe they've got it good to go. I don't know.
Maybe. I would not bet money on that though.
I wouldn't bet money on it either, but that would be the only way I could think of why they would still launch, is if they had. If they didn't, then they're just, like you said, pricing themselves out, which, like, maybe they want to.
I don't know. Well, yeah, more effects from the global hardware issues that we're seeing. More stories next week, I'm sure.
Always. uh, shall we
All right.
close out the news?
Yep, we will.
All right. I have this one for the audience as a Joe and Byron news story, because I think Byron would have interest in this, but he may not. So let's see what he has to say after I do the read. Do you want me to do the read for it?
Go for it.
All right. Let's close out the news this week with a news story that I think we both care about, sir. The announcement of Horizon Hunters Gathering. Guerrilla Games has finally unveiled its long-rumored, and based on some information recently revealed, long in development, Horizon multiplayer game. Now, Gen Friends, you may be saying, Joe, Byron, didn't you already talk about a multiplayer Horizon game? Well, the answer is yes, we did, but that was the NetEase MMO Horizon Steel Frontiers. This is developed by Guerrilla itself, is directly canonical to the story of the universe, and is a co-op hunting game. Thankfully, it can be played solo too. Here are some snippets of information from the PS blog. This is all in quotes. You can assume ellipses as necessary throughout, because I'm not reading the entire thing. So this is what the PS blog said. They have multiple new modes, but the first two that they're going to reveal are, the first one is called Machine Incursion, a high-intensity mission where waves of machines pour out from underground gateways, led by a formidable boss, and Cauldron Descent, a longer multi-stage trial in which ever-changing rooms push hunters to their limits, from brutal machine encounters to hidden doors that promise power and reward for teams prepared to open them. You choose from a roster of uniquely skilled hunters, each with distinct melee or ranged playstyles and weapons, and select hunter roles further embedded with a roguelike system to craft the build that best suits your style and your team. These hunters have their own motivations and personal struggles, which comes together in new stories we want to tell, meaning we being Guerrilla, in the world of Horizon. The game has a narrative campaign which will introduce new mysteries, characters, and threats, but Guerrilla is keeping it under wraps for now. Hunters Gathering is fully canon, and its story doesn't stop at launch. Between missions, you'll return to Hunter's Gathering, a vibrant social hub where players can connect, prepare, and celebrate victories together. Here, you can customize your hunters, visit vendors, upgrade gear, and team up for your next adventure. Byron, over to you. What do you think?
I will try my best to keep an open mind. I look at the game and I think that it is a Fortnite type live service game, and that makes me not want to play it as much
What
as I
about it?
love Frozen. The graphic style is 100% a Fortnite or a Marvel Rivals graphic style, which screams to me trying to grab a large audience and appealing to the younger demographic who enjoys those games more than I would.
I don't disagree, but why? What's wrong with having this art style? Like, I think cartoony art styles can be fun.
I didn't say that I didn't like it or do like it. I'm saying that that's what it reminds me of. It's not necessarily the art style that I don't like, it's that I associate it with games that I don't want to play.
I mean, it is a live service. They made that clear
Then,
in
yeah,
the PS blog. Um, I agree that it does give the live service vibe off. That is also true. But to me, the key here is that you've got specific hunters with stories, and it's going to continue telling stories through the thing as you play. And sir, single player mode available. That is the most important thing that was revealed for this game, is that you can play it with AI hunters, which means that if you're a person like myself who's just heavily invested in this world to the extent where I bought a PSVR 2 at launch because I wanted to play the Horizon game, uh, then I think that that is a sign that they're taking this more seriously than a live service game typically does when it comes to the story of the game that is being presented. Don't you think?
maybe. Um, I'll watch out, see what people say about it, what early reviews say about it. I liked the art style of the Horizon games that were out, so
I do
changing
too,
it up
but
doesn't make me love that either.
well, I think that this is intended to be a different art style because it's a different type of game. It's doing a different thing. Could you imagine the fidelity of Horizon, the way that Horizon is just one of the most gorgeous games ever made, trying to make that into a multiplayer co-op game and make that to have any sort of reasonable budget and keep that updated constantly with new content?
I mean, they're charging people money for it, so why not?
Because you're doing the additional content is the thing. If you're going to keep giving new content out, that means that you need to have a constant influx of money, and you need to be able to do it quick. That's the thing with live service games. They have to be able to update quickly and frequently.
So we're at the crossroads of we need to do it quickly, and we can't put a lot of time or energy into making sure the graphics have the same fidelity, but we're confident the storylines are going to be good. Like those things don't jive together to me.
Oh, I think they jive together fine because you can write a novel and cut it up into bits and pieces and drop it into the story as you want, but you actually have to design and create and make, literally form the games, whereas the writing is literally writing it down, and that's the extent of what you have to do other than getting the voices in, writing and the voices. But it takes a much more time. If you're going to go with a high fidelity, then you have to be able to animate it with the faces and the motion capture, and you have to go with the the actual creation of the art assets, because if you're going to update new assets and new locations, I think if you look at the fidelity of the Horizon series that we've seen thus far, and you think, oh, try to make this into a live service game, I don't like, you would have to have charges out the wazoo. Like, you'd have to be microtransactioning that constantly, or every little piece of content would have to be charged for. And I think that having this more cartoony art style allows a higher speed of turnover for new content, and also gives it a way to differentiate it from the mainline series, because even Steel Frontiers doesn't look like the main series does, right? Like, that looks like a Korean MMO.
I've never played that, so I don't know.
We haven't, no, from the trailers they've shown, the one trailer they showed off.
With the Korean MMO one you're talking about, like I haven't played that one, so
But no one's played it. It's not out yet.
oh, okay, well, yeah. So, but I'm not the target audience. and
For
live
which one?
services game. Any of it that's going to be a live service or MMO. To be perfectly honest, I'm past the MMO part of my life,
Me
and
too. I'm not the target audience, but I am passionate about this world and this franchise that I will try it and give it a shot.
I mean, what they can get me on is to at least look out for it and not completely shut the door. But I'm not psyched about it.
Are we going to play together?
If I play it, we'll play it together.
Oh, come on. You got to at least play with me.
I'm not gonna say that. There's other games that we can play. I like Horizon. But I like Horizon for the reasons that I like Horizon. And if Marvel Rivals in the Horizon series comes out, I'm not gonna by default play that. So we'll see.
I would not either if it's not story. If there's story, I have to play it. If there's no story, I don't care. That's the boundary. That's the line for me. And I mean canonical story. It has to be a canonical story for me to have to play it. Again, PSVR 2 purchased at $550 so I could play a Horizon story.
You're willing to go to a link that I'm not willing to go to, but I'm at least keeping an open enough mind that I'm not saying no.
Fair.
I'm just saying I'm not excited for it.
Well, you and me, and we can maybe get your friend of the show MG or friend of the show Koala to play with us, maybe, because it's on PC as well.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, I think my friend has everything that everybody else has, so if there's something to play with, you'll find it.
But yeah, I'm excited for this because I like the story, and this is made by Guerrilla, and if Guerrilla's making it, it's worth giving a shot. I will say right now, no matter what anyone says about this game, I will be buying it and trying it out. I can make that declaration right now. I don't need to see anything else. I don't need to hear anything else. I am already sold. I might as well just write them a check if I had a checkbook.
Enjoy. There is not a developer out there that has the goodwill enough. Guerrilla is probably the closest, but there is nobody out there anymore with the goodwill to make me say I will buy something blind from them. Too many bridges burned.
That's fair. I understand that for sure. But let's move on to what we're playing.
Yeah,
which I know is your favorite segment.
I'll go first, and I will skip the last part so we can talk about it together again.
Yeah.
First thing on my, well, not first thing. I'll go ahead and talk about the things that have been on my list for the past month.
Eternity.
2 months, 3 months. Yeah. I'm still playing Ball Pit. You don't need to know more about it than that. I still like Ball Pit.
Are there still balls or are there still pits?
There's still both of them, and I still have a couple levels to go in New Game Plus. I'm working through with every single character. I'm not playing as much as I was because there's more things going on, but I am still playing a little bit every day. Haven't today, but I'm sure I will. Super World, I have not played as much this week. I did play some just because I've had other things going on, but Super World's a lot of fun, and I did stream it, so check out 2 weeks ago on a stream, and you can see me running around and showing the world off.
Would you call it Supra?
No, I would not. Because that's silly. One of the new games that I did play this week on Apple Arcade, there were 2 releases of note for me. One was Civilization VII, which I downloaded and went through the beginning of starting a game and then did something else and didn't.
Was that full price?
I don't know. I didn't pay anything for it because it's part of Apple Arcade.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You said that. Okay.
Yeah, I get it for free, or price already included. But the other one was Retrocade, which is an 80s arcade simulator with different older games on there, some of which I had never played, including, I think it's called Haunted Castle, which was the arcade inspiration for Castlevania, which I thought was interesting. I thought that the NES version was the first version, but no, there is a large sprite 2D Simon Belmont game called Haunted Castle. It has your typical games though, like Pac-Man, Galaga, Track and Field, which is interesting to play with my little Xbox controller. What else? Breakout, and there are tasks to do every day. I think it's a lot of fun because I like being able to pick up old arcade games that I like to play and spending 15 minutes on it. Would I have enjoyed it if I had to pay to unlock each one of the games and not just gotten them as part of the Apple Arcade deal? No, I probably would not, and I probably never would have touched it. But it's something that I get to play as part of my subscription. I think is pretty fabulous. And I guess the last thing on my list that I probably put the most time in this week and we'll talk about a little more together, is Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. I was sent a copy of that as an early birthday present.
You were
So
sent it? What do you mean
I
sent it?
somebody sent me the code for it, or sent me the item in Steam.
Oh, okay, they gifted it to you. Okay.
Yeah, it was
I
sent.
I thought someone like I still think mailing something to you.
Nobody does. I did get my AARP invitation this week, unfortunately. So, um, yeah. But yeah, Dragon Quest VII we'll talk about after you get finished with your stuff.
Yeah.
And overview.
So you enjoyed the retrocade that you like that was
Yeah, Retrocade's cool. Again, like if I had to pay money for it, I wouldn't want to,
right.
because so many of the Apple arcade games are transaction games, microtransaction games that have the microtransaction parts stripped out. So all the fun stuff is there. The painful part is not there, and I kind of like that. I played the Castlevania game for so long and enjoyed it. If I had to pay money to play that, I would not have enjoyed it. So that's one of the things that I love about Apple Arcade, and I enjoy
Hmm.
that they're branching out into full size games like
Right.
Civilization Seven. That I will try to find time this upcoming week to give a effort to that.
Part of me thinks that Civ 7's on there because it probably didn't sell super well. It was on sale for $20 on PS5 recently, like
Maybe
disc,
so,
because
but
they
it is
made
there.
bad choice. I did not buy it. I've never had a game, Byron. I've never had a game that unsold me on itself so hard as Civ 7 did. I had the page for the collector's edition of Civ 7 open to like buy their super fancy collector's edition on my phone for weeks when they made the announcement. And then they actually showed the game off and I said, "Oh no." And I closed it and I still have not purchased it. That's how much they have turned me. I love Civilization and I did not buy this game. I have
I
hundreds of hours between the various Civ games out there.
I love Civilization. I don't find a big difference in each version of Civilization. I mean, there's upgrades here and there's upgrades there, and the graphics get prettier. So I am never a day one purchase of Civilization, but whenever they go on sale, I'll grab it and be like, yeah, this is fun for a while.
They change some things drastically, some things they don't. You're right. I think the biggest thing with 6 was they changed it so that you now built districts, the individual district building on the hexes instead of just having one big city that built all the stuff and it just got a little bit bigger. Like you actually sprawled your city out and so that it looked sprawled out over the game, which I thought was a really good change to it. Um,
Yeah, I think I played 6. I think that was the most recent one that I played. I don't remember what I played it on. I don't see it in my Steam, unless
yeah,
it's Sid Meier's Civilization 6, which is
it
probably what
is.
it is.
It is. Yeah.
Ooh, I don't have 6. I have 5. I have 4. But I swear I've done what you're talking about, where you have the districts. But maybe I've got it somewhere else. I don't know.
Yeah, I have 209 hours in 6 and 360 hours in 7. And I definitely played 4 and 3 a lot as well, but that was prior to Steam as a thing. So I have a lot of Civ time put in, and that's how much they turned me off with their changes in 7. I was like, I just played that. I just played this changing eras thing with Aura History Untold. I didn't really care for it there. Don't want to see it in my Civ game, and so I stopped. So if they get rid of that, which they're supposed to be working on trying to strip that out as an option, I'll buy it. I'll give it a shot.
And I saw the changing era things when I was selecting my leader, and I didn't understand what that meant. I assumed it had to do with no longer will your bronze phalanx try to try to invade the city that has stealth bombers in it. So maybe that's it, because I always thought
It
that was kind of
it
silly.
it is that, but also whoever you picked as your leader, you can't be them the whole game. You have to change leaders and civilizations twice. Each era, there's 3 eras. You have to change them twice.
Okay. Huh.
So you're gonna play as Hannibal from Carthage for an era, and then you have to switch over to George Washington, and
Yeah, but
then you have to switch over to someone else or
it
whatever.
let me pick Ben Franklin from the start. Like, how does Ben Franklin work in the Bronze Age?
Yeah, you can pick anyone that you want in the start, I think, and then they force you to just change to something in the new era later on. It's my understanding. Again, I've not played it. I'm just telling you how
Yeah, I want to
I've
be
heard about it.
Nuclear Age Hammurabi then.
Yeah.
All
So
right. So, how about you? What you've been doing this week?
yeah, so I have finished Solasta, Crown of the Magister, the base game of that. There are two DLCs for it I have not played yet because apparently they are almost as long as the main game, and the main game took me like 45 hours, I want to say. So not too long in there, but I finished it 2 days before Dragon Quest came out, so I was like, I'm not gonna start the DLC for this and then stop playing to play Dragon Quest. So I ended up using one night, the one night I had in between, just caught up on TV shows, just watching TV, and that was fun. But yeah, Solasta took me about 45 hours or so. My playtime's a little bit longer because I left it running for a little bit. There's no clock on your save file. It's only what your Steam library shows. I hate when the games do that. I like having save file clocks. Um, I I need to make clear to you as my friend the level of neuroses I have sometimes. Um, I at the very end of the game, you have a chest that can spawn basically any item or almost any item that's in the wondrous item category, like gloves of strength or a belt of strength or boots that make you fly or almost anything. And then you get two pieces of armor. I had not through the game managed to find a plate armor +2 for my main paladin, and I wanted to get a belt that was +21 because I wanted to have that for one of my other characters, and I can get both in this chest. And the chest is completely random as to what's in it, and it is a random seed every time you enter the room. So I spent about 2.5 hours reloading this cutscene and going through skipping the whole cutscene and reloading and opening the chest over and over again. About 2.5 hours doing this over the like. I got to this is just before you get to the end of the game, and I got there and I was ready to step through the portal. I was like, this is terrible loot. Let me see if I can redo it. And so I went back and it worked. So I was like, all right, let's do this. So I spent the whole rest of that night doing that. And then I started the next night doing the same thing. And thankfully, within like half an hour, 45 minutes of that second night, I got the two things that I wanted to get and was able to continue. But that is my kind of neuroses that I just reloaded over and over. I am a save scumming king. I believe that you should save scum as much as you need to get what you want in a game.
When it's single player games, I don't care what you do as long as you have fun. I
I
will, I will challenge that you didn't have fun.
I didn't mind it because it's what it ends up happening is it just serves as podcast listening time for me. I just sit there and I hit, it's like F9 reload, click, 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 F9 reload, click, 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 F9 reload, click, 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 click. Like it's just a bunch of that. And all while I'm doing that, I'm just sitting right here, podcast on my phone here, maybe my M&Ms over here or my goldfish or my drink, and I'm just chilling. I'm just doing it. And there's no story, like nothing is happening other than the reload and the gear check, and it's such a routine that it's relaxing to my mind. It gets annoying eventually because I want to play the game and finish it because I was right at the end, but at the same time it was a chill experience. It was like zen. It was a very zen experience of F9 click 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 click, nothing, click 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 click, and then podcast playing the whole time helps me catch up on things, that sort of thing. So
I'm glad you scratched that itch.
it does. I just like catching up on podcasts sometimes. The podcasts take a lot of time. My podcasts are long. We give you guys nice hour and a half, 2 hour podcasts. My podcast that I just finished yesterday was like 4 hours and 15 minutes. And that's on the short end for it.
So we don't get to that part. Let's move on to Dragon Quest.
Well, I do want to just say, Solasta, really great game. In the end, I really loved it. I'm very excited for the DLC. I'll pick that up once I own it. I will start playing that once I finish the Dragon Quest game. But one funny thing is I did, just to make sure that I did it right, I started the continuing DLC so that I could make sure that I got my characters imported correctly, because you have to import your characters over to continue with them as a story. So I did that, and then I was like, all right, I'm good. I'll stop here. And I got them all set up. Got to the first main zone thing, which was because you start off in a camp, fight 5 bandits, and then move on. And I was like, all right, moved on, saved, quit. Highly, highly recommend this game to anyone who likes a good Dungeons and Dragons CRPG. If you don't like that, it's not really going to sell you for the story. It's not really going to sell you for the voice acting, but it's good. It's a good game. I liked it. And then, the next thing I've been playing, and we'll talk about this together, is Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. Byron, you first. Let's hear it. How far are you?
I am 8 hours in.
Okay.
I think
is that including the demo time?
I don't think so. That's just from Steam, 7.7 hours of
Did
playtime
you
on
do the
that.
demo?
Yeah, I played through the demo. We both played through the demo at the same time.
Right, you did. Yeah. So what did your save file time say?
I don't know. I'm not going to launch it now to find out.
Oh, okay.
Um, I don't know where the Dragon Quest demo is. Hold on. I can just add the numbers together. But I did complete the demo and Dragon Quest Reimagined demo, 4.2 hours. So I'm 12 hours into the game.
Okay. So we're almost at the same point time wise then, because I'm about 14 hours in.
Yeah. The first thing I'll say about it is I appreciate them letting you stop or restart where you stopped in the demo. I like
Yeah.
that you import your demo save,
Mhm.
and I like that they rewarded you for playing the demo.
Yeah.
If people haven't done it yet, whenever you play the demo and I guess I don't know if you have to go all the way through the demo or not.
I don't know
As
either.
as a reward, you get a dress for the female character in the game. It's just cosmetics, but a dress that she can wear instead of her regular outfit.
The first female. There
And
are other female characters. The first female character.
I don't have them. I've gotten one new character, the wolf.
So have I. But I just know the box art is the characters, like the box art. So
I'm looking at the splash screen on Steam, and it's got the four characters that I have on it. So anyway,
okay.
yeah, irrelevant to anything else. But the main character, he does get better cosmetic clothes because what he wears, I think, is pretty awful looking. But you essentially get the main character a costume from Dragon Quest VIII, which is pretty good. I like that, and I switched both of those characters to their new outfits. And I also got a metal slime shield that I'm still using right now.
I don't know if I got the metal slime shield. I got the metal slime weapons.
I didn't get that. Must have been from your pre-order.
No, I bought the DLC. I bought the deluxe edition upgrade. Huh.
Yeah,
Anyway, I'll have to
so
look and see if I got the metal slime shield.
I got a metal slime shield. It was noticeable because the female character she can use that, and she can't
Yeah.
use every shield. So that was kind of nice to be able to equip her with the shield.
All right, so I agree. I think it was very nice to have the demo. I probably would not have played the demo if it didn't carry anything over. Actually, little tangent, fun story. When Rebirth came out, they had the demo, but the demo was like a part of the actual game, and I didn't want to do that to myself. So my wonderful, lovely, amazing, perfect fiance Jing actually stuck it up and stuck through and did the demo for Rebirth for me, so that I could get the bonus trinket item that you got for completing the Rebirth demo. And I then went and hid in my room while she was doing that so that I didn't get it spoiled on anything. So thank you, dear. I love you. um, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's great. I'm glad that they did that. I appreciated that demo as well because I think it gave a really good idea of what the game is like. Don't you?
Yeah, I mean it's the game, so it's just the
It
game with
is.
the first 4 hours of it. Um,
Yeah.
there's no better representation of something than that item itself.
Yeah, that's true. But early parts of games don't always reflect what they're like later on, I find.
Yeah, I mean the first 4 hours were more boring than what I've done so far because there's just so much world laying out in it, and you all.
Honestly, I think the first 14 hours have had a lot of world laying out.
I mean, I think the nature of the game means that the world is constantly changing and building. But I
Yeah,
mean, any
it's
role
true.
playing game, you start out as a character sucking, and you're extremely limited in what you can do. And until you've developed your characters, you don't get more options.
Okay, so you're 12 hours in, I'm about 14 hours in. What's the last thing you did without spoiling it for the audience?
Um, there was so this is not spoilers really. This unlocks from the demo. You're in an ocean and you are the only island in an ocean, and then you find a way to essentially travel in time to other islands, and after you've beaten the islands they pop up in your world. That's just the nature of the game. I won't
Yep.
go into more spoilers than that. But I got to an island that had more mechanical things on it, and
Okay.
I've gone through the past in that one, and I have just gotten to the present, and I went back into town and went to save it, and then I stopped so I could go for a run today.
Okay, so yeah, I am one island past you. So what I'll say about this game that I really like is that each island is a different cultural, like it's a different culture. which I find really interesting. Um, so the island that I just finished up before I went to get my burger before we recorded this was actually Romani people, um, gypsies, Romani.
I would say
The
like the from Romania, not Rome. Okay.
no, yeah, no, like Romani, the like the I'm gypsies, Romani, whatever you'd want to call them, because I know gypsies is considered like derogatory now, but like that group, the wandering cultural people.
I'm with you.
Uh,
I'm on board.
and one thing that was actually really funny about it was they call you gajo. They call you a gajo, and that made me laugh a lot because in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, you meet Romani people and they call you a gajo. So they just took the actual Romani word and moved it into this game, and it means outsider. um,
See, I understand what you're saying, and I thought they've overdone it a little bit with the oh my gosh, these people are the most English people in the world, or they're the
they
most
have.
Italian people in the world. It's like y'all.
They definitely have overdone it with some of them, particularly with the Scottish one. My goodness, was the Scottish one a bit rough? Um, that was probably the roughest, I would say. But I thought that I just like that they took the. It made me laugh because I knew the word, I knew what it meant because I'd learned it last year in Kingdom Come Deliverance too. So that was fun for me. Um, so yeah, so I'm one island further than you. So not to spoil the game, but the next group of people you're going to meet are the Romani people, and there's nothing else to do at that point. Like you have to go to them because did you discover the optional island? There was one optional island that I've discovered so far.
I don't know. I when I went to this island, I had multiple options of where I could go, and I didn't know what the different. You unlock the islands with different color boxes. I'll
Tablets.
just put it at that.
Yeah.
And when you look at them, I mean, it's like yellow, green, red, and blue. And I had two options. The game is very good about laying out possible next steps. It puts a little red exclamation mark over top of the items that you can do, or yellow exclamation mark, I think, depending on if it's optional or mandatory.
I
Um,
don't. I didn't notice any red ones. Always thought they were yellow, but I'm
whatever.
also
Um,
colorblind, so who knows?
I was thinking on the map it was showing the red ones with the next objective, but the point is that I had options for multiple and I picked one of them. I didn't know what the difference in red and yellow tablets was, so I just
Yeah.
went to the one that was closest to me, and I am where I am. So I don't know if I've been to an optional one or not. I'm assuming that I'll unlock it because one of the cool things is one of the characters that you get tells you how many items are discoverable in the immediate
Oh,
area.
I
With
love it. I love it. I love
I'm
it.
anal
You
and
turned
I
that on.
love
That was an option. You had to activate it.
yeah, I switched over from provoking fights with enemies to
Oh
tell me
yeah.
treasures allowed. So that's one thing I don't like is that you're limited in the number of field actions that you can have. I would rather get rid of quick heal and get one of the other options in its place, but you're limited by what you can
I think.
assign
Well, I
them.
think those are the only two quick actions. Is the sniff or the heal or
So far,
the
I mean, I don't
provoke.
know. I
Yeah,
assume there's more. I got two more directions on my D-pad.
that's true. Um, I will say that if you want to know if a thing was an optional island or not, it's literally in the quest log. It's like sub story or whatever, and then there's only one island that I've been to that fit under that. Everything else has been mandatory so far.
I haven't looked at the quest log. I mean, I
That
just
was the
went.
only time I looked. I was just curious. I was like, why is there nothing on? And that's what that like why I've not found any side stories is like that's why. It was like just this one. Again, I'm not going to spoil the story of it, but it's a German island. It's Germany. That's the optional
Yeah,
island.
I've not been to a sausage island yet, so I don't know. I'll have to
Okay.
look for that one. What I'll say about this game enforces what I thought before. This is a good game. It is a fun role playing game. It is a
Yeah.
90s role playing game.
Oh
It is
yeah.
very much in the vein of old Dragon Quest, old
Even
Final
though I
Fantasy
think this came
games.
out in the 2000s.
It was a PS1 game, I thought.
uh, yeah, I mean, it came out in 2000.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, right along the line. It is a 90s game. Make no mistake about it. But I like the old school role playing games. I think they're a lot of fun. In my
Yeah.
mind, the best role playing game ever made is still Final Fantasy VI. Um, and so it's still like the logic built into the game is still 90s video game logic. There's not adaptive conversations. The voice acting is limited, and it still kind of burns me that this game was $60. I think that it should have been a lower price point. I don't care if you reskin the game. The graphics are good. They're really good. The art
Except
style,
Kiefer.
well, I mean, it's good. I don't like it. Like
Oh, I do.
no, I like the other characters. I think Kiefer is ugly as sin,
Yeah.
but they did it well.
Yeah.
They
Did a great
they
job.
ex- and I'll caveat that by saying they didn't anti-alias their backgrounds when you're in the industrial factory level. It's a grid-based background, and you can see the jaggies on the line there, and that's me playing at 4K with anti-aliasing on. So the characters all look fantastic, but the background they did not filter.
So here's a funny thing I noticed. I was asking Alex from Season Gaming, who reviewed this for us, if he noticed it too, but I guess he didn't notice because he said he didn't say anything about it. But the top of the map, oh, not the map, I guess the top of the screen is blurred and has a ridiculously low draw distance for shadow detail. So on your industrial island on the far west coast at the Institute, there's a flower patch, and you can watch the shadows of that flower patch draw in as you just walk up so clearly. You walk up and down, the shadows draw in. But if you turn the camera sideways and you change the angle so that it's on the right side, so it's not at the top but on the side, and you go sideways, the shadows are there the whole time. So they have this like low draw distance shadow blur at the top for things coming in the distance in front of you.
I mean, I'll
It's
take a
the
look.
weirdest thing.
You're playing on PS5 Pro and I'm playing on PC, so the draw distances may just be better on
I don't
PC.
know. I have the clip. I have the clip that I can forward to you, and so you can see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'll
Um,
take a look later. I'm curious. I haven't noticed any horrible graphic
it's a
artifacts
horrible. No,
for
it's
that one.
gorgeous. I really like the look of this game. I want to make that clear. I really like the look of this game a lot.
Yeah, it's a pretty game, and for the most part, like with that one exception that I listed, I think they've executed what they were trying to achieve with it well.
Yeah,
Um,
I think so
I,
too.
I thought it was funny that one of the things that I complained about last week or the week before, whenever it was, that I didn't like the locked on camera control. Like in the overworld, you have complete ability to spin the camera, but whenever you're on more linear areas, you can only
Yeah.
do 15 degrees either way, and that kind of sucks. Like you should have the ability to, it makes it easier to find things. Maybe that was their point. But I read a review of it because I did look up when I should be spending my seeds, because I typically hold onto those things way too
Yeah, I
long.
never spend seeds. Yeah.
um, and I found a review, and one of their comments, one of the negatives was limited camera controls. What I did read about the seeds was give like a hit point and a defensive one to the female character, who I don't remember her name.
Maribel.
Yeah, and all the other ones just load everything into the hero. And the only thing that I haven't done that with is I got some, um, oh, what is it? Not luck, the
Charm.
charm. Thank you. Charm is what it is. I got
Yeah.
a couple of those, and I don't
Pretty
have any.
Betsy's.
Yeah, I don't have any characters that do any charm based attacks yet, as far as I'm concerned. So I
Maribel
know
has
these.
one. Maribel has one.
Well,
Her
I was like,
dazzle.
I'm gonna hold on to these right now because maybe there's another character like a bard type character that comes out, because I know
Yeah.
there are more characters. I don't know how many,
I don't know
um,
either. I don't remember.
but I assume that I'll be able to use that better because I don't think the main character has any use for charm.
It's funny. I probably won't spend the seeds at all. I went through trails and I had tons of droplets, which are the seed equivalents, and I didn't spend a single one. Like I don't. I'm bad at using them because I'm always afraid. And also, eventually, sometime we're supposed to be able to change our jobs, which
Which
we have
I
not
did see
unlocked yet.
that you can multi. I haven't spent the ones that give you job points because I saw that you're able to multi-class, and
You are, but
if you're
I can't even change my class yet.
no, I can't either. But I was told whenever you multi-class, the ones that increase your job points increase it for everything that you're currently equipped, which is
Yeah,
good because I've max leveled all of my jobs.
yeah, me too. What's your character level at this point?
Probably 15 or 16 is a guess.
Okay, yeah, that's about right. Because I was 18 or so by the end of the next island after yours. I've been trying to, for a while, I was fighting everything at least once just to keep the grind up, constantly building up my experience. But I've kind of stopped because I feel like I'm wasting time because I don't have any jobs to level up anymore. All my jobs are maxed out. I did look up when I unlock jobs because I'm like, when do I do this? And I think it's soon. It's got to be soon. I was trying not to spoil anything for myself, but I'm pretty sure it's soon. And then I think soon after that, you unlock the multi-classing, the moonlighting as a job is what it's called. Um,
Yeah. I mean, the
yeah,
games, and I've been afraid because I do very similar. If there's something in front of me, I attack it.
yeah,
Um, and I feel like I may have over leveled the content of the game because it's been pretty easy. Like I haven't even died in a little bit to the super monsters on the board.
yeah.
And oh, I don't know if you figured this out. When you get those souls from
The
the
hearts,
super
yeah,
monsters, yeah, you can equip those and get
yeah,
bonuses. I didn't know that. I happened upon that by
yeah.
chance.
That's like your trinket. That's like your trinket equivalent. Yeah, I
Yeah,
learned that in the demo. I figured that out in the demo.
yeah. I
Because you
thought
get
about
one
changing the
there.
difficulty up, but then I'm like, I don't want to make it so it's difficult and I don't enjoy it.
Yeah, I haven't had too much of a challenge. I in the middle of actually in the middle of the dungeon that you just did, the industrial dungeon, Maribel died on me and I had to use my Yggdrasil leaf because it had been a little bit since I'd like had an autosave and I didn't want to quit the game and I refuse to let any characters be dead at the end of a fight because they don't get experience points then. Um
But you
so
had a party leader leave recently for a period of time, so that person is no longer XP locked. I guess they wouldn't have been anyway because they weren't all equal whenever
yeah,
you
they're
got.
never equal. I just don't want to lose. I
I've
don't
been that way, like in Final Fantasy One, where you start with the same characters you end with. Like, yeah, I like them all being locked. With a game like this, where you get people serially, like I don't care.
yeah, I don't I try to keep. I just don't want anyone dead because I don't want them to ever fall too far behind, especially on like a big fight where like you get a lot of experience. Oh, have you found any metal slimes? I found and fought and
I
killed
haven't
my
found any.
first metal slime in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I know they're coming because I played Dragon Quest,
Yeah,
but I
of
have
course.
not found a metal slime yet.
Yeah, I found one. I found one and I killed it with a multi slash attack that one of the characters gets because you know, obviously it's a chance to hit and they only take like 5 hits, but you have to hit them.
Yep.
Um, yeah, so I got him with a multi slash. It was good. Yeah, I'm enjoying this game. It's very simple, like you said. It is very 90s coded. I want the jobs. I want new jobs and more stuff to be available. I like jobs and class systems. Like that. That's a fun thing for me. I can't wait to have the ability to swap things and whatnot and get some more party members. I think the game is supposed to be like 55 or 60 hours, which seems. I mean, we're 14 and we don't even have the jobs yet. I feel like I don't know. I feel like we're missing something here.
Well, there's a lot to go, and I've seen people say it is one of the best Dragon Quest games that there is. So yeah. I mean, they're all big games.
I'm curious. I feel like I filled in a lot of the map tablets already. Like I feel like a lot of those tablets are full already, and there doesn't seem to be more. So there's got to be something else somewhere
Yeah,
along the way.
there's something else. I'll go and spoil the ending for you. The big evil in the world, that's going to be the Dragon Lord. I don't know if you figured that out or not, but
Very funny. Yeah, but it's been fun. I am really, really enjoying this game. It's one of the problems with it, like you said, is the lack of voice acting a lot of the time. And what that's causing to happen is I play games at weird hours and I'm very sleepy. I'm a very sleepy man. So I tend to doze off if I don't have enough excitement, enough stimulation. So I'll end up like dozing off for a couple minutes in the middle of a cutscene where I hadn't hit the button yet and no one said anything. So just sitting there, I fall asleep for like 3 minutes or whatever.
go to bed.
Um, I do go to bed. I
What
slept
happens? Go
plenty.
to bed.
I sleep plenty.
That's your body telling you it's time to go to sleep.
But it's like 8 p.m. It's like just fall asleep. I'm just a sleepy person.
More spoilers. As you get older, you'll get sleepy earlier. Sorry, get over it.
What are you gonna do?
You're gonna go to sleep.
That's good. But yeah, so that was that's really it. I don't have much else to say that's not spoilery. I had something happen in the game that I'm very curious about how long it happens or if it's real. You haven't gotten there yet, and I don't want to say what it is, but it'll happen soon for you.
Here's one thing that I don't like about the game, or another thing that I don't like about the game, but more as like a design choice. There is an item to pick up on the first island that you can see from the absolute beginning of the game sitting in a place. And I know how to get there, but I can't get there yet because it's behind a locked gate. And that is just torture to me putting crap out there that I have to wait until later to get to.
Yeah.
I despise that choice in design.
Yeah, I've been using the find treasures function, and just so you know, if you haven't figured out, treasure doesn't mean treasure chest. It means literally any item that you can.
Yeah,
Yeah, the pots
anything
too.
that you can pick up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and there was
I
one that I had one treasure chest left on this island, and it's a locked treasure chest that I can't unlock, and it counts it.
and there's so many treasure chests. It's like, oh, this treasure chest is locked. Well, I
Yeah.
can't kill the guy and take the key. Like, why am I having to wait for the?
Yeah, apparently I looked that up too. Apparently you just get keys that unlock the treasure chests eventually, and then you have to go back to all of them. That's a
That's silly.
it is.
Um,
But I think this is a really good game. I am glad I bought it. I'm glad I'm playing it. I think it is worth $60 if you've never played it before. If you've played it before, maybe it's not, but I've never played it, so I'm getting $60 worth of fun. I'm actually getting $75 worth of fun because I did pay the $15 for the upgrade to
I
the
hope you're
deluxe
getting
edition.
$75 worth of fun.
Huh?
I hope you're getting $75 worth of fun.
I am. I had PlayStation Store gift cards that I bought on a Black Friday sale 2 years ago or a
Well,
year and whatever ago. So
if anybody wants to see some more of it and likes to hear me talk, I did stream it on Thursday for about an hour and a half or 2 hours. So
you
go
did?
watch. Yeah.
You didn't
Did you
tell
not
me.
check? I stream every Thursday.
Yeah, but you didn't tell me this is what you were streaming.
Well, you're going to play it yourself. So
That's
yeah,
true. I wouldn't have watched, but I would have at least come and said hi.
well, I didn't want to play near whenever that game came out on Thursday. So I threw out a wild card and
Nice.
played this game and streamed it.
Nice.
So yeah, my wife watched and left a comment because she's wonderful.
Aw. Hello, wife of Byron.
Yeah, she'll hear it this week whenever she listens.
That's
Yes,
do you ever get like a life of Brian, wife of Byron joke? I don't
do not.
know. Monty Python.
There's better stuff in Life of Brian to make jokes about.
I haven't actually seen the whole thing, just parts of it. Parts of it I've seen. You're like youth.
It's. I mean, I was very small when that movie came out. If I was even alive, I don't remember if it was early '70s or late '70s, but like I had to watch it as an adult, and you can watch it as an adult too. It's still one of the best comedies ever made.
There are great bits of it for sure, like from it for sure that I've seen. I just
Oh, the
haven't seen
entire
all of
thing.
it.
Yeah, the entire thing is amazing, even including the ending.
But
Yep.
all right.
So speaking of wild card, you want to move on?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's move into our final segment here, the wild card. Should I lead this one because it was my
This is
topic this time?
your choice. Yeah, you get to start it.
Yeah. All right. So our wild card topic this week is something that was on my mind. It was actually on my mind last week, but our wild card was a little too good last week and we'd gone a little too long. So we decided to save it for this week. And that's IRL or in real life friends versus internet friends. And I posed this question because an internet friend of mine was streaming, and she streams regularly, and she is also a cosplayer. And she and I have met a couple of times in real life, and she had made a comment about someone being an in real life friend of hers in the chat. So I said her name is Aki Serenity on Twitch, and so I said, Aki, am I an IRL friend or an internet friend? And she goes, that's actually a good question. I think even though we've met in person, I think you're still an internet friend because that's where we met first and that's where we primarily hang out. I was like, I think that makes sense. Depending on how you view these things. So I thought I would raise that question to Byron. So Byron, what do you consider an internet friend versus an in real life friend? What are the differences? How do they impact you? What sort of, dynamics are there between the internet versus friends that you've met in real life or that you hang out with in real life primarily? What do you think?
I think that it's an artificial label. And I think that friendship can be friendship regardless of how you meet. If I had to say like gaming friends, it would be people that I game with and only game with, and people that I don't typically have more serious interactions with. One of our listeners is a friend of mine that I have not met in person, and we've been friends for 20 years now, and we know each other better than most other people know us. And we'll meet at some point in time. It just hasn't worked out. We tried a
Hmm.
couple years ago at a wrestling show, but it didn't work out. And it's just because he lives in a different part of the country than I have. And famously, like, I've only met Joe in person twice. Once was at our office at a baby shower, and once was because he was at his parents' house in Richmond, and we met in the middle. So, um, in my mind, there's always been some way of having a long distance friendship that you may or may not meet people. I mean, I had pen pals when I was a kid. I had a pen pal in France, and I would exchange letters with her. And had I gone to France when I was messaging her, I might have met her, but it wasn't the same level as I've had other friends. Yeah, I've had friends that I game with, and they're gaming friends, and those relationships don't last. And I've also had friends online, and those relationships have lasted. And I've also had IRL friends that I've gamed with, and the gaming relationship hasn't lasted, but the real relationship has lasted.
Yeah.
There are listeners to the show who are work friends. There are listeners to the show who are IRL friends who I will see later tonight watching the Super Bowl. And there are listener friends who are more online friends. But I mean,
Mhm.
it can be a designation for how you met somebody or where you typically see each other. But again, like, your familiarity with people is irrelevant as to where they originate.
Yeah, I agree. I do think it's a rather arbitrary designation in the long run. I think that I think that it is probably the clearest definition of where do we primarily hang out. Like, I don't think that where you met is as relevant as where do you primarily meet, like, chat with the person and hang out. So like you and I mean, where we would be internet friends, even because we were coworkers, internet coworkers, and
And so, real quick, to interject real quick, um,
yeah.
the definition of, like, coworkers even has changed. There are people that you work with intimately at work that you've never met and you will never meet, and they'll be gone or you'll be gone from your company, having never touched. And that's just a byproduct of how modern life is.
It is. It absolutely is. I think of so it's funny you say gaming friends and whatnot because I honestly don't think that I have ever had a friend in real life that I have gamed with in any serious nature, in any serious degree. Like, um, my cousin Junior, he is he's going to be a groomsman at my wedding, and he is one of my longest friends. I say cousin, we're actually not blood cousins, so we've known each other forever. He plays games or used to, and he's trying to play some more. He just had a kid like a year ago, actually, but he's trying to pick up games a bit more now. And even then, like, he introduced me to World of Warcraft, and we never really played games together because he was an Alliance guy on World of Warcraft, and I was a Horde, and he likes shooters, and I don't really play that many shooters. So even though he plays games, we don't really game together. My gaming friendships have always been people that I met in the online world, whether it's playing in World of Warcraft or that I met through Twitch streamers and people like Koala, friend of the show Koala. He's also going to be a groomsman of mine, and I've met him in person twice, but we've known each other for like 5 years, and he's a very dear friend. And so we play games together. Sometimes we're discussing playing Baldur's Gate 3 together, if I can convince him to, because he is an interesting fellow when it comes to his opinion on Baldur's Gate 3, in that he wants more freedom than it gives. Anyway, uh, I know.
Okay.
I know, exactly, because he likes real Dungeons and Dragons, and having it in a story where it's still some level of constriction doesn't jive with what he wants. But I think it would still be fun to play together. So we're thinking about doing that. But yeah, most of the people I played games with, I just met organically through my time on the internet. There are people that I've known since I was in high school that I don't talk with as much as I used to, but I've met them in person a number of times actually for BlizzCons. I've got their phone numbers. I've got them on Steam. Uh, I intend to invite most of them to the wedding, depending on our wedding size, of course. Like, these are people that, even though I haven't talked to them with any sort of regularity in a couple of years, I still consider them to be friends that we've just fallen out of touch. I think that that is a perfectly valid friendship still. Uh, and even though we've only met in person a few times or have never met in person in some cases. So yeah, um,
And I've
I'm
had real life friends that I worked with, and we had a Final Fantasy 11 guild, and we would go to work together, and then we would go home and we would see each other online and play Final Fantasy 11.
I I've never I've just never had that. I find it so interesting that as someone who plays as many games as I do, who's played games as much as I do, I have never found myself in a scenario where people that I am friendly with in person actually play games that much. It just has never happened for me. Maybe I just put myself in the wrong places or the weird places. Maybe there's not a lot of video game players that dance line dances, but there are. I know plenty of them that play, but we just don't play games together. Like it's just never a thing. I got some of them on my friends list, but we just don't game together. We don't really talk games. It's like if I see if I see my friend Cody at our line dancing bar when I'm in Florida, we're probably going to talk line dancing, and maybe he'll ask me a question about games or something, but we generally don't talk about it that much. It's usually on other topics, and I just don't know why that is. I've always wanted to get like a Dungeons and Dragons group together or a tabletop gaming group together, and I've just never been fortuitous enough to have that. So I don't know.
Be the reality you envision.
Well, what I really want to do now is I want to get involved in local mahjong groups. I want to become a mahjong player. I want to learn how mahjong works, Riichi mahjong works better than I do now, and I already know how to play the game pretty well. And there is a local group. I just haven't had an opportunity to join them. They play on Saturday nights.
You'll be the
Um,
youngest person there.
no, not American mahjong, not like the little old ladies playing mahjong. This is like Japanese Riichi mahjong, like hardcore mahjong. um,
Oh, what those old ladies do is hardcore mahjong too. They don't
it
lose fingers because of it, but
yes, but it's still American mahjong. It has jokers and it's different. It's a very different style of play than Riichi mahjong. And I know Riichi mahjong very well because I play the Yakuza games and I love playing the mahjong when I play. Um,
all right,
like
different
I
topic. Keep going.
well,
We'll talk
no,
mahjong one day.
well, just the point is like, so this is like, I would love to have a group of real life friends that I could play all sorts of games with. And I just have never had that availability. It's unfortunate. Thankfully, Jing likes playing board games and stuff. Have you ever played the Quacks of Quedlinburg?
I have not.
It's a game I talked about this on the show a couple weeks ago when I mentioned it as my happy place. But it's fun. It's a board game. It's a fun little game that we like to play together. And I'm hoping that when she has more time on her schedule for her availability and stuff, we'll have more time to play other board games. And I think we would have fun doing that. But yeah, I like that sort of a thing. Are you familiar with the card game? Because I know you like card games. Well, at least you like Magic. Flesh and Blood, I think is what it's called. Hang on. Flesh and Blood TCG. Yeah, Flesh and Blood. I was right. I wasn't sure if it was Flesh and Blood or Flesh and Bone for a second. Flesh and Blood. Koala is a huge fan of F&B as a TCG, and apparently it's attracting a lot of mahjong play, or not mahjong, a lot of Magic players lately away from Magic. So you may be interested in checking it out as a person who likes Magic.
I will tell you that if I played a different game, it would probably be Disney Lorcana, just because it's Disney Lorcana. But at this point, I don't have the bandwidth for another collectible game. And I'm not interested in getting back into physical collections just because it's a bunch of crap. They're expensive and it's stuff to keep around the house.
Yeah, expensive is definitely an accurate description from from what he's told me. But there may be a digital version of it too. I don't know. It may be worth just looking into if you because you like the play, right? You like the play of Magic, right?
Yeah.
So you might like the play because he actually is looking at trying to join tournaments and do tournaments of Flesh and Blood, and that may be something that you could find an interest in and do as an internet friend thing. Maybe play online tournaments of it, like digital tournaments or something. I don't know. But yeah, I thought this was just a good little conversation as a wild card. In the end, we're the CrossGen Friends podcast. Your generation doesn't matter, where you're from doesn't matter, where you're located, how you met the people. None of that matters because we're friends. We're all friends here, right? We all have one thing that binds us together. That is our love of games and pop culture and tech. And yeah, that's what this podcast is about. And that's why we chose CrossGen Friends, because we really wanted friends to be a part of this, right? At least that's my thought process, right?
Works for me.
Oh, my friend, my truly, truly apathetic friend on the other side of this camera. I think that'll do it for this episode here, though, right? I think we're
No,
sitting at a
not.
solid hour and a half or so. So
We're more than that, but we still have upcoming games before we finish up. So
we do. We're only more than that because we have an edit that needs to be made that we won't talk about.
also, well, my counter restarted whenever we had the drop. So
Oh, did you? Okay.
yep.
All right. Upcoming games here. We have Mugenics coming to PC on February 10th. I don't care about this game at all, but it is on my fantasy team, and it is it was at a 90 earlier, so I want to see what it's sitting at now and see if it's still giving me a nice boost in my points. It is still sitting at a 90, and it comes out in 2 days, and it has currently got 29 reviews on OpenCritic. This is the next game from the guy who made The Binding of Isaac, which is why I picked it. Because I was like, wait, everyone loves The Binding of Isaac. I'm sure this game is going to be great. Sure enough, it's sitting at a 90. I don't know anything else about it. Are you looking at it?
Yeah, the name turned me off, but it looks interesting. I don't know that I'll play it anytime soon, but
That's okay. But it might give me 20 points. It might open my seasoned gaming staff fantasy year with 20 points, which is pretty solid, I would say. I don't have it in my other fantasy league, my older one, but I picked it for this one, so I'm pretty happy. Next up is Mario Tennis Fever coming to Switch 2 on February 12th. What's your experience with Mario Tennis?
I've never played Mario Tennis.
None of them, really?
Tennis. Nope.
Okay. I have a vague memory of being 10, maybe 9, 8, 10, 12, somewhere in that late single digits, early double digits era of my life. And we did a drive down from New York to Georgia for my first cousin once remove's wedding. And I remember being there, and in the hotel room, they had Nintendo 64s attached to the TVs that you could like rent games from the hotel to play. You remember when hotels used to do that?
Not specifically, but yeah, I know the concept of it.
Yeah, and I never had been a Nintendo player, so like I never had an N64. I was always PlayStation. So this idea of a tennis game, it's like, what is this? This is so cool. And my grandma would give me money. Again, love my grandma. Would give me the money to rent this game, and I remember just like loving playing Mario Tennis on the N64 in the hotel and having just a blast, despite being there ostensibly for a wedding. And that was so much fun. So Mario Tennis Fever. Hopefully this is better than Mario Tennis Aces, which was the Switch game, which apparently sucked, which I never played. I will wait and see how this is reviewed, but I might pick it up because it might be fun to play with Jing as a little co-op game at some point.
Cool.
And then, finally, the real thing, the big kahuna of video games, Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties comes to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, Switch 2, PlayStation 4, and PC on February 12th. Byron, Kiwami 3.
Nope, I don't care about it. I hope you enjoy it.
Okay, so I'm not playing it right away. I'm not going to play it until I finished doing all the stuff I need to do in 3 Remastered. So I'm not going to play it right away. But, so here's my normal approach to Yakuza games. I normally buy Yakuza games on sale because I don't play them at launch. I've never been caught up to play them at launch. So I normally wait. But I end up buying them so many times over, I probably spend more than the cost of a full price game anyway. But that aside, what is interesting about this one is I was going to wait to buy it. I was going to wait. Don't need it. Gonna wait. And then those people at RGG go and say, hey, if you pre-order at GameStop, check your local GameStop's availability, but we're going to have a free pre-order deck of cards themed around Yakuza 3 Kiwami, or Yakuza Kiwami 3. And I'm like, okay, so now I have to buy this game at launch because I want this deck of cards. So I have to call all the GameStops and see if any of them are going to get the deck of cards in stock so that I can pre-order the game there and get this game, because I would rather spend full price for this game and get a free deck of cards than wait to save the money because I want those cards. I want that deck of cards, man. I want it. I want it bad. They look cool.
Cool.
Killing me. You are killing me, sir.
I have cool playing cards. I bought them at the store.
Yeah, but do they have Yakuza characters on them?
No, they have Disney characters on them. I'm good with that.
Yeah, I bet those were more expensive than the game.
I mean, $10 is what a deck of cards costs.
Is it?
Yeah.
Even Disney ones, they don't charge you 35.
That's what I paid at the resort whenever we were waiting on the table.
That's fair. But
cool.
All right.
Hope you enjoyed.
I probably won't even ever open the card deck. Honestly,
I knew that was coming.
Probably not. Just own it, have it there, look at it pretty. We'll see.
All right, moving on. Where can people find you, Joe?
You can find me at Joseph_Law_Russa on Twitter/X. You can find my writing at Season Gaming as Don Lionheart. Like I said, Pragmata review is supposed to be mine. That comes out next month, I think it is. I think it's the end of April, so a little bit of time for that. A couple of other things that I may or may not review, depending on if we get access to them and when the availability is. But I am looking forward to a few games in March that are really exciting that I would like to take a crack at swinging the review stick. What about you, Byron? Where can the people find you?
Radio Free Europe on Blue Sky. Threes instead of E's. That's about it.
All right. Well, I think that'll do for this episode.
Yep. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Make comments on our YouTube videos. Watch last week's show and see about me trying to give something away if anybody will take it. And remember, whether it's your gen, my gen, or someone else's, friends can be cross-generation. Good night, everybody.
Take care, all.